In 2013, my best friend Lindsay and I went trick-or-treating together. I dressed up as Harley Quinn from Batman, and Lindsay was Minnie Mouse. We hung out at my house for a while, and we took some photos together, then we left. We planned on going to Lindsay's house after to hang out, because my parents were going to a Halloween party at their friend's house. We went trick-or-treating around the neighborhood, which had a decent number of kids out. I remember seeing somebody dressed up in a full skeleton costume complete with a mask, walking down the street passing us. He went the other direction and waved at us. We waved back and kept going. About 20 minutes later at a house, I saw the same skeleton guy behind us walking up the driveway. I thought it was a little strange, but we kept going. We stayed out maybe another hour trick-or-treating, and the skeleton guy seemed to be behind us the entire time. We didn't think much of it still, until we decided to call it a night and head back to Lindsay's house to hang out. When we started walking back, the skeleton guy started walking back too. By this time, there wasn't many other trick-or-treaters out at all, so we were a little concerned of who this guy was. He seemed pretty big, and we thought he was maybe in high school or something. We walked all the way back to Lindsay's house, which took us half an hour, and the guy trailed us about 50 feet behind the entire way. The longer he followed us, the more creeped out we became, and I kept telling myself it was just a coincidence. At last, we finally reached Lindsay's house and went inside. Her parents were home, and we felt a lot safer. We stayed at the window to make sure he went out of sight. Then we told Lindsay's parents about it, but they assured us it was just a coincidence and he probably lived down the street. Me and Lindsay went up to a room then and forgot all about the man. We watched a scary movie and had some candy. Then it got pretty late. It was a Thursday night and a school night, so I decided to head back home. My house was only about a 5-minute walk away, so I left and began walking down the street. I was kind of spooked from the movie and it being Halloween night, and not long into the walk, I started hearing footsteps from the other side of the road. I looked behind me, but I didn't see anything. I kept walking until I started hearing the footsteps again, and they seemed to be getting closer. I turned around and saw the skeleton man about 40 feet away on the other side of the road. At this point, I was very close to my house, so I made a run for it and sprinted down the street, through a neighbor's backyard and into my own backyard. Then I unlocked the back door and went inside. The whole time I didn't look behind me, and I didn't want to know if I had been chased or not. When I got inside, I was disappointed to see that my parents still weren't home yet, so I was home alone. I went around to make sure that all of the doors were locked to make me feel safer. As I was at the front of my house, I heard somebody at the back door of my house trying to open it. I just about had a heart attack, and I knew it was the skeleton man. I slowly walked to the corner and looked around it to the back door. As soon as I did, I made direct eye contact with the guy. I ran back around the corner. As soon as I did, I saw he was looking right at me. I ran back around the corner to the living room and grabbed the phone to call the police. The guy kept trying the doorknob the entire time. The lady on the line told me the police should arrive within 5 minutes. This made me feel a little better, but I was still terrified. I ran upstairs to my bedroom and locked the door. Then I called my parents. I told them what was going on, and they told me they were on their way home. I just sat in my room waiting for the police to arrive. I was starting to feel a little better until I heard movement downstairs from inside the house. My heart dropped. I knew it would only be a matter of time before he came upstairs. I ran to my closet and hid inside of it. Then I plugged my ears and closed my eyes. I waited for what felt like forever until I heard loud shouting coming from down the hall. I uncovered one ear to see who was shouting, and when I heard multiple voices, I knew it was the police. I slowly left my closet and went to my door and cracked it open. There was the man in the skeleton costume being held by police in my hallway about 20 feet away. His mask was off his face now, and it revealed that he was at least 30 years old if I had to guess. They took him away and started asking me questions. My parents arrived back about 5 minutes later. It made for a really late night, and my parents let me stay home from school the next day. That was by far the scariest Halloween for me.